Hello guys, welcome back, and today I'm going to teach you an all-around movement tutorial. This is for advanced people trying to learn, or complete noobs into the game. And yeah, let's start. I'm going to try to wrap everything up as much as I can quickly, because I have a ton of stuff to teach about, kind of advanced noob stuff, all that kind of stuff. I don't want to spend too much time, so let's just get right into it. If you have not already liked, if you like this video, consider that and stuff, and yeah, let's just get right into it. Alright, so when you're starting out Gorrila tag, you're gonna be up there, okay? And I'll get up there, show you guys what that actually looks like. You're gonna have to go through this tutorial area. If you're confused what to do, you can ask your friends who play. If you don't have any friends like me, you can just kind of figure it out. Basically, you want to slap your hands on the ground, and that's how you're gonna move, okay? You want to slap your hands on the ground, okay? And you want to like boom. If you see that part where you have to like wall jump to each side, just take the ramp to the left of it. But you're gonna come out there. If you have a fear of heights, great, because now you have to fall all the way there, all the way down here, okay? And then you could do like a little helicopter thing. One thing to keep in mind when starting this game is that you need a lot of room, because you don't want to end up trying to go over here, then end up a piece of your furniture and break your finger. That's not good. So keep in mind having your guardian on and having it to a high sensitivity level, so even if you're not too close, it still notifies it, just so you make sure you don't get near it, because you're going to be putting your hands way back and doing things that require a lot of that kind of stuff, and you don't want to break your finger or do something really bad to hurt yourself. So just keep that in mind when starting. So then what you're going to do is I would preferably get into a private lobby, because, well, it's kind of hard to learn with 15 people screaming over you and people consistently tagging you and you not knowing what's going on with the speed boost, getting stalled, all, you know, the basic Gorrila tag stuff. So you're going to try to get up here. When you get up here, real quick, another thing, you're going to, instead of like slapping the ground to run, you're just going to run with each hand. We'll get more into later, but come here to make it a little easier to get up here, because you're not going to be able to get up here. Put one hand off, like your dominant hand, hang off the edge, and then just swipe up and try to catch it, just like that. And then get up here without falling, just do gentle taps, kind of walk at the beginning. You're going to come over to this computer. Let's go over the computer real quick. If you use these arrows, you can get to different things. You're going to go to room. You're going to press option 1. You're going to spam a bunch of keys, and you press enter, and you'll be in a private room. If you scroll down one, you can name, you can type your name, press enter, that's your name. Color, if you want to be aqua, there's 489. You just do option 1, change that 42839. If you don't want to do that, you can experiment with the different numbers to get different colors. And the last one is your turning. And you have a bunch of other ones here that you can explore yourself, but the last important one is turning. Option 2 is smooth turning. Option 1 is snap, and option 3 is just body turning. I like to have an option 2 so I can smooth turn to do like 360s and stuff, so I can do helicopter, but also use my body. And with that same thing with option 1 too. Then once you're in a private lobby, you got your turning method out. You know you're doing whatever, you're doing fine. Then what you're gonna do is you want to come like over here. You're just gonna jump down from there, come on the picnic table, and we'll start your lesson. Alright, first thing you want to do is move, okay? So to move, you want to not go like this. You don't want to get bounced up. You want to go straight with the ground. To do that, you want to take your hand and be parallel and swipe straight behind you. So instead of swiping down like you think, you swipe behind. Just like this. And this is great, so when you go back into public lobbies, then you can simply do this and you won't get tagged as much straight from that. Boom. Just keep swiping back. And that's really it to running. It takes time. You can ask people in public lobbies, and get in public lobby. Just go back up to the stump. That's not the tree house. That's the tree house. You go back up to the stump, and basically you want to just go to room again, same way I taught you. Just press option 1 and then walk outside, and you will be in a private lobby, or a public lobby, I meant. And then to get back in a private lobby, same thing as before. And that's how you get in and out of lobbies. And if you want to just leave that lobby and join a new one, you just do the same thing to get into a public lobby from a private lobby. Okay? It's as simple as that. Okay, now let's get into jumping. Because you probably think you know jumping after you learn running, because you already were jumping by going like that. And that's cool and all, but you're not going to get far from that. What you want to do is you want to take yourself, right? And you're gonna take a hand, just one hand, and slap the ground really hard, and you want to slap a little bit forward too. You want to just slap down, because that won't get you high. You want to get some space from it, and it helps a little if you like tap the ground once and then do it. It gives you a little bit extra height and speed, and that's just kind of helpful. You could try that, and you want to try slapping yourself to all sorts of surfaces and getting really comfortable with that, and you should be able to perfectly get yourself up onto there. And like I said, you can research about that. I found the best way to get comfortable with moving is practicing and going to public servers and asking people about their tips and tricks. But that's really the simplest of it. There's not much I can teach you about that, since that's just, out there. So now what you want to do is you want to learn how to do simple climbing methods. You don't want to spend all your life down here. You want to be up there with everyone else. So first thing you want to do is climb these walls. You might see a lot of people going like this. You might see in this area in the tutorial area, right? But this is not the best thing to learn at first because it's a little bit hard. But there is actually an easier method, luckily, and it's insanely easy and it's really good, and you can use it for more advanced things like climbing trees too. So all you want to do is you're gonna start in those walls. It's a lot easier than doing it straight from like a tree or something. You're gonna come over to those walls, right? Right, you're gonna make a way there. Sorry for the trouble. Alright. And then you're just gonna take it and you're gonna hug it to the point where you're like here, your body's touching it, and then you're gonna hug it until you feel basically it hit, like the vibrates. Then you're gonna like pull your hands up and then push down. It's not as much as pulling yourself up than it is pushing yourself down, kind of. And you're just gonna fling yourself up. Then I like to do a circle motion with my hands like that. And you're gonna flick up, bring it back on the wall, flick up. You wanna, when you're doing it, kind of bring yourself like kind of not only push up, but push towards the wall, so you don't end up doing that. So you wanna just be consistently going like this. I found flicking my hands like that is more helpful than just straight up, or flicking a little bit down like that. So like, you see me bring my hands down like that as I do the circle motion. That helps too, and that's why I like the circle motion, because it encourages me to not only go up towards it. And you can try doing this, and once you get really comfortable, you can try doing it really fast. And then boom, congrats, you have now made it on top of the 2 walls. You can try flinging yourself to each wall by simply hanging over the edge like from the beginning, and flinging yourself to each wall, just like that. And then you're just gonna keep practicing coming up, and fling yourself to each wall. Once you're really comfortable with that, next thing you want to do is try to get up to that platform right here. You're just gonna, same thing, hold the wall, but you're gonna aim a little bit more up and less far. But you still want a little bit of forward momentum into it. Okay? Now you're on this platform, and we'll get to tree climbing and that stuff later. Now let's learn wall bouncing. Wall bouncing is when you take each hand and kind of do it like that. You don't want to do this with 2 hands, like that. You don't want to do it with just 1 hand like that, but you're doing 1 hand for each wall. So your right hand for the right wall, left hand for the other wall. And honestly, this just took a lot of time for me, but once you get it down, it's insanely easy. So all you're gonna do is hit the wall like this. You take your dominant hand, swipe towards, so if like my right hand is dominant, I'm gonna swipe towards the left wall. If your left hand is dominant, you swipe towards that wall, just like that. Boom. And then what you're gonna want to do is simply swipe. You take the left hand, you can find if you put it like an angle, or just kind of like leave it there and don't move it, you kind of stick for a minute, or like a 1.5 seconds. You're gonna use that time, just kind of stick there for like 0.2 seconds, then, or like, yep, like really quickly. You can stick there for a second if you're uncomfortable, but pretty quickly, you're gonna want to hit off of that wall. You can try going just sideways first, like this, and then just try hitting a little bit up from sideways. And you don't want to go too up and not stick to it, or go like that, or just get up like that and fall. But you want to be going side to side like this pretty quickly. Now if you're going too quickly and people are catching you, try going a little bit up more, and I'll show you more advanced methods of getting up here faster later in the more advanced section, but that's like the basics of it. So that's how you climb these walls. Now let's talk about climbing trees. So to climb a tree, I recommend we start out by going over to this ramp over here. And if you don't know how to climb this ramp, think of it like you're running on the ground, except at an angle. So instead of being straight back, you start kind of a little bit down to match the angle. And that's just how I do it. So to climb a tree, we're going to use that pinch climbing method where we hugged it. And we're going to get on this branch. This is the easiest one, I think. And you're going to get on this branch right here. So hop up from here. Then you can put one hand down, hop up on this one, and hop up on this one. Okay? You can also try this on here too, by just hopping up on that branch, but it might be a little bit harder. And I'll show you that. You get on the branch, but it's going to be easier to climb the tree. But you can try it on the other one too. You just have to hop up more and have a wider, grab. One thing when you're doing this on trees is that basically it's not going to be the same as doing it on a wall. You can't stick infinitely. It's going to slowly come off. And even though it's slow, it's still enough to mess you up. So you're going to get on here, you're going to hang one off, you're going to bounce up there, and you're going to grab the tree. You see, I'm slowly falling off very slowly. Like just like that. I can fall. You want to grab it and do the same thing. But this time you have to bring your hands a little bit closer each time. And the closer they become, the harder it is to stay on the tree. Basically, you just want to get really comfortable at doing that. And then once you get to the top, so you fling yourself higher than it, you're just going to place your hand right there. Boom. And if someone's trying to climb up, jump up like this, and then like kind of flick your hand, and it'll get you a little bit farther than just doing it straight from there. Like if I want to get on this branch, I can do it, but I barely make it, and I didn't even make it there. But basically, if I instead hop up and then go, I'll show you that once I get up. Whoop. All right. Whoop. I'll just get up here. You could also try just going straight to it, just like this, having to get on the branch first. But if I jump up, tap, and then try to get it, this time I actually get it. And it's just a little bit of boost that kind of helps you and messes up your opponents. But try whatever works for you. And you want to try this on all sorts of trees. Try it on this tree. You can try it on the other tree that I was showing. You want to try it on all sorts of trees, and you want to climb all the trees and get super comfortable. What you don't want to do is be the noob that camps in the trees for the whole entire time. That would be really bad. Don't camp in the trees. That's called a tree camper, and people would definitely hate you for that. So don't do that. And that's really the basic movement. We'll cover a little bit of basic branching. Branching is simply when you want to go from branch to branch. So beginner methods would be like going up this ramp right here. I'll show you what's called a route. And then getting up on this branch. Then you're going to make your way over to this branch. You're going to jump on this branch, land, make your way over, and try to get up on this branch. And you just want to basically find different branches. There's people that are way better at like maneuvering on the ground and juking and that kind of stuff than being up in the branches. But me personally, and a lot of people in this game, prefer being up in the sky than being down here on the flat ground. But real quick, let me cover juking. Juking is when you pretend you might go up this wall or like do something like you pretend you're gonna go this way, right? You're gonna go over there, and all of a sudden you hit off the wall and start going the opposite direction, and it throws off your components. And then you can keep doing that. If someone's running it, you can like boom, and they're gonna chase you this way, and then you're gonna go that way, and then you're gonna go here, and then all of a sudden you're gonna go over here. Then you're gonna run, pretend like you're gonna climb out the tree and hit away from it, and then you're gonna go over here. You're gonna fling yourself around the tree, and you just kind of gotta experiment with that. Furby, I like people running at me like in different ways, going over them. But be careful going over them because you want a lot of hate going over them, or else they can simply put their hand up and touch you. Also, if people are being toxic in this game, no harm in reporting them. Just don't tell anyone because you don't want to get more toxicity. And yeah, just don't really mind other people. There's a lot of crazy people in this game, but overall, the community is pretty nice. It's similar to Population 1, I'd say. It's really nice. And yeah, that's basically it for basic movement. So now let's quickly move on to advanced movement. We'll start advanced movement with everyone's want to do, absolute favorite, wall climbing. We'll do wall climbing and wall running and advanced techniques like that, and then get into how you can incorporate those techniques into other techniques and then do more advanced branching and other stuff. So let's talk about, first of all, probably a simpler kind of intermediate thing, the on top of the stump. You can do this several ways by wall running, doing other ways, but basically you want to find some way to get up on these logs here. You can do this various methods. One way I like to do it is start down here. You're going to climb up this thing, so where you would go to jump up here, but instead you're going to look at this branch. You're going to hit the ground with your left hand really hard, and with your right hand you're going to hit off of it a bit. Not straight up like a wall, but a little bit off, so you can land on this branch and then hit yourself over. So it's kind of intermediate. But if you want to just get straight up from down here, you can just kind of wall bounce, and you're going to have to put a lot more weight into your wall bounce and a lot more flick of the wrist to be able to do this. A lot of people think it's easier, a lot of people think it's way harder / impossible. It's kind of just like, gotta play around with it. Basically, you just want to keep hitting yourself to each wall until you get up. And you just gotta practice with it. But eventually, you will get better at it to the point where you can just like, wah, and we'll talk about all sorts of like wall bouncing techniques and that stuff later. But let's talk about wall climbing and wall running. So the first thing to do if you want to start wall climbing, you get up to wall one, and trust me, wall climbing is way easier. Trust me. You want to come over to this wall right here. I know you might think it's so hard on this wall, but you really just gotta stick with me. You're gonna take your hands, and you want to put them parallel with the wall, and you want to turn your head to that wall. And you want to practice just sticking like this. That's what I do. Just stick. Because it's really hard to stick to these walls, and I think that's what people have a problem with, is they just slide right off, or they go off of the wall, like that. So first of all, let's get sticking down, and then we can try going back and forth and sticking, then adding less head motion in, and then over time, you will get it. And it just takes a long time. Like, it just clicks one day. Like, one day, it just will never work. It might not even work for a month, a year. It doesn't matter, you know? For me, it took about a couple weeks, and then one day I woke up and it clicked. Like, the hand motion is way more complicated than it looks, but you just gotta play around, and that's the biggest thing with it. But basically, once you get up past the straight up wall, like this, where you're like kind of struggling getting up here, you get to this wall. It's a little bit more slanted. It can be a little bit more, it's a little bit more forgiving. And then you can try like doing one-handed, doing a little bit of wall running, do whatever. But if you want to make it to the stump from here, try getting up all the way up there. If you go in the gray, you'll slip, so don't go in the gray. And then you want to make yourself to this really slanted platform right here. Try wall running for a second, and then you don't have to really know how to wall run because you're just kind of swiping back. So think of it just as regular running, because you don't have to like stay on the wall really. You're just gonna keep swiping back. So kind of doing a wall run. So you are doing a wall run, but you're doing like wall swiping, I guess. So it's a little bit easier. And then you're just gonna swipe back, and you're just gonna try to get on it. Oh, I messed up 2 times there. But you're basically just gonna swipe back. But you want to use proper wall running once you get a little bit better. I'll show you what that looks like. And yeah, that's really it for wall climbing. So now let's get into wall running. If you want to do wall running, I'm not going to show you because I don't want to waste time. But if you go down to the caves, basically, you can try on those walls, and they're a lot less steep and a lot easier, basically. And then once you mastered it on those walls, like complete mastered, you can take it to here. My biggest tip, and what helped me stay on the wall and not bounce off from it, is my body was hitting the wall because I was keeping my hand here, and it was bouncing off. As you see, if I try to hit there, I automatically bounce off. You want to keep your hand when you're wall running away from your body so that your body never hits it. So that way, you're not bouncing off as easy, and you're able to actually wall run. And that's what kind of helped me. Now starting, also make sure you actually wall climb first. It's way harder doing it on straight up walls like this. You actually want to wall climb. You can try experimenting on different walls. And try finding different slanted walls. If you go over here, you can find these walls are a little bit less slanted, and you can try wall climbing up here instead. And trying it on these walls, but you want to experiment on different wall climbing spots to find different wall running spots for you. And then after that, let's get into advanced branching, and then we'll get into incorporating wall running and wall climbing into roots and various things, including wall bouncing. Alright, start off with branching, advanced branching. You want to start from the ground up, okay? You don't have to get up the basic method by going up there or going over there by the stump, top of the stump. To do that, you want to start down here, okay? And you're going to find some way to get up here, okay? It might be a little branch like this, or if you're good enough, you can just hit yourself right up. Boom. But a lot of times, it won't be as simple as that. It'll be something like that. What, you can't just get up with a simple tap. You have to actually do something else. And that's called gorilla climbing. It's where you put your hand parallel and do straight up. So kind of like an awkward wall run. so it's kind of weird. But basically what you want to do is you want to find a tree like this one. This is my favorite. You're just going to hit up and then swipe up. And that should be just enough to get you on a branch just like this. And then the rest of the actual branching is really just up to time and precision. And playing VR a ton is just really going to help you be able to do this. And yeah, that's really it. Now let's quickly cover some wall climbing techniques and end it off. Okay, so real quick, when you're wall climbing or wall bouncing, try swiping up to do a wall run. It'll gain you a little extra height, and it's a little bit faster if you do that. Also, if you're trying to get on the treehouse, we're just going over this random little things that'll help you in the long run, and then I'll end it off. But really, I think just to make sure it's to practice for months, and then you will get it down really good. You can try boosting yourself up like that, or you can try going across like that. Obviously, the easiest way is to boost yourself up, just like that, and getting up, just like that. Boom, or you can go up this way, obviously. And yeah, we'll talk about one little thing real quick, and that's really it. So basically, you want to be practicing a bunch. I wouldn't recommend going into competitive servers since they're really good. Talk to other people, do a bunch of stuff, and eventually you will be really good. Now, what if you've months in and you still cannot branch, you still can't do simple things up in the skies? Well, like Jim and Curly, you might not be the best up there, but there's plenty of people who stick down here and do a lot of juking and stuff down here and are good, if not even better. And you just gotta kind of find your play style. And yeah, so one quick thing before I go, that was like all the skill-based tutorial, but just real quick, if you want to find other maps, there is actually a canyon map and a city map and a cave map. Like I said, if you go on this whole cave map, if you're in a public server, you'll get distinction and put a new one, but if you're in a private server, you can go in no problem. Canyon map is kind of cool. You're gonna learn how to get out of it and be really good at wall bouncing though. Though if you're kind of advanced, then it's really easy. You go into the cave map, all the crystals make really cool sounds, and it's just generally really cool down here. There's even a piano right here that you can play on. It's really cool. And you see these walls are really slanted, so it's very easy to wall run here. And then the last little place, there will be more places getting added soon, by the way, that they found in the beta. But basically, right now there's one more, which is called the city map, and that's how you get cosmetics. Like every season there's at least like one free cosmetic, if not two this season. And you can get different things here. You get 100 shiny rocks per day, 500 for your first day, and yeah, generally it's really cool. They have this great package here with all these hats for only $10 and badges, sunglasses and stuff there. But city map is really cool. You can play around in private servers and do fun stuff like that. Also, real quick, if you are a Lava Monkey, you get a speed boost, and if you're on a private server Lava Monkey, it's even faster. So keep that in mind when you're playing city map, because you can't just go into a public server and do that. You have to go into a private server, but you can just go into a public server and invite people to come to your private server. But basically, all I was saying is just be mindful that you will go really fast. You can practice being Lava Monkey, doing all the same normal stuff that you've been practicing in private servers as Lava Monkey, as that will help you chase people. You want to get used to chasing people too, since I don't really cover that. But basically, just focus on running away. You're getting pretty good at that, and then focus on actually chasing people. And for the time being, I'm gonna go spend the rest of my day editing and posting this video, and that's really it. So see you next time. If you at all enjoyed, consider subscribing, because I put a ton of time and remakes into this video and just a ton of stuff. Consider liking if you just like it, comment if I left anything out, if you have comment anything, and I hope you all have a great day. I'll see you guys next video.